Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast, where my friends prevent me from filming a character-driven movie and forgetting to develop my characters, and instead force me to watch movies. That came off weird.
Which movie are you talking about? Are you talking about Goon?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm not with you,
Unacceptable.
John. I'm not with you.
And at this point, John lost his co-hosts.
Well, okay, let me try this one.
I'm encouraged by that response.
All right, let's try this.
Want to ring the bell?
I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm a loner, Daddy. Rebel.
I am the walrus.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast where my friends prevent me from losing the same tooth each time I get punched in the face, and instead force me to watch movies.
There we go.
Yeah, much better.
This week, we have with us Eric Largent.
It's official.
We have Chris Arsenault.
Beach ball is bigger than Buck. This why joke is.
We have James Barrup.
All right, 2 rules. Hands off my Percocets, and do you have any Percocets?
And we have Colin McMillan.
You gotta be shitty to get better.
And I am your host, John Barrup, and this week, we watched The Goon.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's just called Goon.
Goon.
It's called Goon.
It's called Goon. Not The Goon. Goon.
It's Goon.
It's just
oh,
Goon.
fuck.
Too soon.
I gave the wrong line. I meant to say beer and soup. That's my thing.
Thanks for loopy, coach.
All right. So, when he's seen dispatching a rude opposing hockey player in the stands, Doug Glatt is hired by a rival team for his fighting skills. Starring Sean William Scott, I have no idea.
Baruchel.
Baruchel. There we go. Allison Pill. And directed by Michael Dowse. So, as is John Hates Movies tradition, the person who picked the film gets to review it first, and that is James.
Yay!
Wow. That was a long time ago. This is like a much
Yes.
waited for episode.
Who allowed
Yeah.
James to win the game?
And what are you talking about? This happened last week.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about this today. I was like, man, I should call first spot for this movie. And then I'm like, wait, I won the game.
And then you were like, wait, I have to come up with a game?
Yeah. But it's okay. I got my notepad right here. We're good.
Good.
The notepad that I handed him while you were doing the intro for the episode.
Like I said, we're good. So, all right. So I'm really glad that actually we did dump our extra one, The Princess Bride, last week, because I'd like to echo a statement there that The Goon, this is pretty much a perfect movie.
Oh no, I'm with James 100%.
Actually, like when it comes to just like stupid bro comedies, this is probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. I mean, it's real simple, it's real funny. There's so many goddamn quotable lines. The only thing that like took me by surprise is that I didn't see it sooner, or my friends didn't force me to watch it with them sooner. Goddamn, I cracked my ass up the entire time I was watching this movie. It's just fun. It's great, and
I agree.
This one flew under the radar for a lot of people, though. It wasn't really like a big release,
Yeah, but
or at least not as far as I knew.
But like, I mean, I feel like I was like watching a Kevin Smith film for the first time before people knew who Kevin Smith was. Because
Right.
You mean before Kevin Smith was Kevin Smith, who he is now?
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Like-
you mean when he made movies that were like funny?
That had lines that you wanted to quote afterwards.
And
Like
not
Right.
yoga hosers.
Oy.
Definitely
he
not
said,
one of
because I
those.
love dicks so much, I could win the grand prize of 50 dicks in my mouth. So I could either get a lump sum payment of 50 dicks right now, or 1 dick a month for 50 months. I like corn dogs because the bun is made of corn and it's on the hot dog already. But honestly, like the shortcoming really I see with this is the relationship bit wasn't bad. I mean, I was watching it, but I was like, yeah, this is really cute. But like, she's with a guy and he's like kind of chasing her, and like, this just happened to me.
Right.
Right. Like she's maybe not a great choice.
Yeah.
Anyway, when a girl's like, I cheat on my boyfriend all the time, your reaction shouldn't be, I think you should be my girlfriend.
Hey, she did say, you make me want to stop sleeping with a bunch of guys. And if that's not heartwarming.
That's a Jerry Maguire, like, you had me a hello moment.
Oh boy.
You make me want to stop sleeping with a bunch of guys. All right. So, ladies, and all great statements, I've always started with those two words. So, ladies.
Uh-huh.
No, so let's.
I'm going to explain something to you. It's called mansplaining.
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. But
here's your mansplanation. It's mansplaining time.
Oh.
No, let me make this broad. If you're the type of person who sleeps with a bunch of people, and you meet somebody who is attracted to you physically and you catch feelings for them, not sleeping with that person is not a good way to make that person feel special.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I'm trying to follow the double, like the not yes. The double negative.
I
the
think
triple
what he's
negative
saying
there.
is that his stomach light needs their stomach light so they can phone home together.
So it's like,
Oh boy.
Turn
it's like
on
if-
your hot light.
whether it's sex or not, though, it's like if you've got some shit to work out and you like somebody and you tell them, like, hey, you make me want to work my shit out. Like, that only really does a little bit for them, because if you're telling them, I need to work my shit out so I'm not going to be with you, or whatever, like, that doesn't really make the other person feel great.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's like, well, I'm glad. Thanks for letting me know that you're growing so much through all this, but fuck you, I'm going to move on with my life now.
Yep, exactly.
But congrats on the growth.
Right.
Yep. At the very least you can do is, if you're already sleeping with a bunch of people and you like somebody, you might as well sleep with that person too. Exactly.
Except they might get absurdly jealous. Well, they might get absurdly jealous anyway. So
Yeah. Well, it's better than finding out that they didn't sleep with you but slept with a bunch of other people, even though you really liked them, and they really liked you.
Yeah, that
Was this in the movie?
No.
There's
No.
not much.
James is bringing personal issues into the movie.
James brought some shit to this episode.
Well,
Because there's like so little in the movie to actually bring to this episode. It's funny. It was entertaining as hell. The end. Go watch it.
There's some lessons in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like hockey's cool.
That even Canadians hate the French.
Yeah, man.
They hate French Canadians more than they hate regular French people.
Well,
I've never
it's 'cause
Frenched a
they have to
Canadian.
deal with it.
I've never Frenched a Canadian, just some above the clothes stuff.
Jeez. Yeah. Toronto's pretty boring.
Yeah.
All right. Well, seriously, that's it. Like, I'm done.
That's fair. That's fair. So, who wants to jump in on that?
I can go, because
right.
I love this movie, and this was my second viewing of it, and I liked it just as much or more the second time. I maybe saying it's a perfect movie is a little strong, but it's pretty solid. I do think it's very funny. I think the only thing that could really like turn people away from this is maybe Jay Baruchel's filthy mouth.
Yeah.
But like I love this movie. It's like it's sort of like a slightly more whimsical Rocky, only it's on a hockey rink. It's because it's about an underdog dude. I know John's just hating this. Every time anybody's going to say anything good about this, like it's about an underdog dude who's down on his luck, and then somebody sees some potential in him and gives him a chance, and he goes with it. And he doesn't like in the first Rocky, he doesn't beat Apollo Creed. He doesn't become the champion or anything. Like Doug Glatt doesn't like fucking win the Stanley Cup. He doesn't even make the NHL, you know, but he beats up the dude that he needs to beat up. And that's what's important, you know?
And they just barely make the playoffs by one game.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're
they didn't even win the playoffs.
But
they made the playoffs, which means they're not a bunch of bums. They can go the distance. In terms of hockey, that means making the playoffs, you know? So it's like Wings didn't make the playoffs this year, and that sucks.
I mean, they are a bunch of bums, though.
This year they kind of were.
Yeah,
like
they really were.
A
sack of
it was a terrible, terrible season.
Welcome to Michigan, everybody.
Their last season at the Joe Louis Arena, and it was a shit show. And I really like the Wings. This is a Wings fan household over here. My fiance is just like the biggest Wings fan I've ever met. So, you know, I went to a game. I watched them suck ass, in person. I do really like hockey.
Live or let die. Bow. 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 Big Wings household.
Don't call me daughter. Sorry. I know that was a stretch. I'm sorry.
Wings. Maybe I'm a man. Maybe I'm the old man.
Simply having a wonderful hockey time. And that's how I felt watching this movie. I was simply having a wonderful time. I remembered from first watching it that, like, I liked the development between Doug and LaFlamme, and, like, you know, because he's just like such a prick. But I like the way they come around in it, and the team comes together. Like, I get that feel good sports movie win vibe from Goon, even though these guys are like a bunch of bums. They're not going to win the playoffs or anything, like, you know, but they prove that they're not just losers. And part of that is proven by Doug Glatt repeatedly punching people in the face. And, you know, for a movie about Canadians, how much more American does it get?
Well, he was an American, so.
Yes, he was. And that's the lesson of the movie is
that the best thing for Canadians is Americans.
Exactly.
Wait,
Canada needed some America in this movie.
Doug was American?
Yeah,
he's American.
I forget where.
Oh, yeah, he was from Boston.
Yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Which also explains why he's like a serious hockey goon. Because
listeners, I watched this movie a month ago.
Right, and so did I. Like, you know, I really like the part of this movie where Nancy's running up the stairs and they turn into pudding. Sorry. Anyway, I really like this movie, and I like the girl in this movie. Like, she's the drummer in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Like, she's cool, and she's not in enough stuff. And even though maybe like, it's hard to make a case for why the character is a great person or a good choice for a relationship, you know, I think the actor does a great job in the role, and
I think the character was effective overall.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
Yeah, like, you know, she was doing
believable.
Yeah,
incredibly believable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they didn't like make it. They could have made her like. They could have added negative connotations to her character,
right?
But I didn't really get those.
Right. I agree. Like, they don't really show that her promiscuity is actually really a problem in her life. She's just dating a guy she shouldn't be dating.
It's never a problem.
Hey,
unless, you know, it's extra.
well, what's nice about it is she's like, okay, yeah, I sleep around with my boyfriend, but like, they don't go to any like nasty lengths to show you that she's some kind of scumbag for it or anything.
Right.
She's just she's just dating a guy that she's not very enthusiastic about,
right?
You know,
which who hasn't done that. But I also love that, you know, with Doug, part of her thing is like she's really trying to like be like, listen, no.
Yeah.
You know, she tries, you know, which says she's not as bad as a person as, you know, she seems to think she is.
Yeah. Well, right, because she recognizes on the first night that Doug's a nice guy and she doesn't want to hurt him.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get it. What's there to not be enthusiastic about? He's got a decent car. He's got a good job. He owns a house. He's a well-known costumer. He goes to several cons. He's got lots of friends. He's got his own podcast.
She loves him, says she's in love with him. Can't find a better man.
Oh, boy.
It's because she finds a guy who's good at a game.
This shit's getting real tonight.
James, should we talk? Tree Talk Podcast 2017. Let's get into this shit.
Wait.
Falling apart.
Wait, so talking about feelings is now tree talk?
Yes. When we get into like the fucked up shit about James's life, that's Tree Talk podcast.
Okay.
like why James killed the massive fucking maple tree in his yard.
He didn't kill it. He did every stupid thing he could do to kill it, and it is a survivor.
Okay, did that ever make it to anyone?
No, but I've still got it, and we could maybe put it out someday. I've got the episodes though.
Oh boy.
So great.
Yeah, Colin.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, I have no idea what y'all are talking about. But one thing I suspect is that Eugene Levy's career is shaped something like this. I think that he just wanders around from film set to film set, pops his head in and goes, I understand there's a need for a whimsical, fatherly Jewish man in this movie. And then they go, yeah, come on in. And then he's in the movie. Because, like, I swear the character he plays in Goon, he's played in probably 7 other movies.
Oh, yeah.
He's good at it.
Yes,
he is.
Awesome.
He's really good.
At
And that's a funny thing. He's a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yes.
he seems to willingly just be like, yeah, I'll just do it.
Yeah, like they put him in a box and he just lives there. Like he brought a couch in, you know.
Well, yeah,
like,
but when you reach Eugene Levy's age, like, how much work do you
That's
really
true.
feel like doing?
right,
That's
like,
like,
who-
you know,
he's going to play like a dad, a doctor, a lawyer, you know. Like,
right.
And,
Yeah.
and,
It's
and
just pleasant seeing him in the scene.
Him and his son's show is actually pretty funny.
he's very good, and I really like him. I just think it's funny. It just made me chuckle because his mannerisms are so similar. But what is also nice in Goon is you get to see him kind of being a dick, which is not usually what they do with Eugene Levy. Normally
That's
he's just
true.
there for a laugh, but he's kind of part of the problem. Well, a side problem in this movie, you know, like he actually kind of functions as a somewhat of an antagonist for both of his sons. I feel like if they really got into the story of the brother, you'd probably see even more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's
I mean,
a whole different movie there.
Yeah.
right, and I think there's some value in Goon in the scenes where Doug is basically saying to his dad, like, look, I'm never going to be the person that you think that I should be.
Dad, I'm dumb. Dumb
Yeah.
son, gay son.
Your one son's gay, your other
gay.
son's dumb.
I'm dumb, he's gay.
Yeah, I'm stupid, he's gay. One son is stupid, your
Right.
other son's gay. Like,
Which really cemented just how much, it was obvious that, Doug being essentially stupid or following this career path is definitely something that the dad doesn't approve of, and really kind of, pushed the knife in, like, whether you have shown it outright or not, we understand you're not approving of him either.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was a bummer scene.
Yes,
it
it
was.
was. And it's weird
Hilarious.
because and I thought, well, yeah, like it is kind of funny, but it's funny because it's just like it's these characters clashing so hard in such an awkward way, and I think the cast nails it in that scene. Like you got, it's mainly Doug and his dad, but like even the mom and the brother are pretty. Everyone's good in that scene. Like it's not like this is just a bunch of stupid jokes or anything. Like I think the cast does a fine job. I mean, Liv Schreiber is fucking awesome always.
oh
so.
yeah, holy crap! Yeah,
That guy needs more work.
yeah.
Yes, he does.
He's very good at understatement.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of his
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and he's great at it in this because, like, like when he skates by the team and he's just like, I could do this all day. Like he doesn't yell. He doesn't like make big like craziness. He acts like a dude that's really comfortable punching people out.
The scene where Doug meets him in the diner and he's like,
so
look,
good.
I
That
know
was a great
I
scene.
know that like our paths are gonna cross, and like I like you, you're a great guy, but don't get this fucking twisted. I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
I also love how he says. I also love how he says in that scene, like, don't think for a second you're a hockey player.
Right? Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
you're there to punch some faces, and like that's a solid scene, and the actors do a good job, and it's written in a way that you could believe that real people would have this conversation.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think Goon is a very solid movie. They do a little thing in this that's one of those things that I always like in movies where a song's playing in the soundtrack and then a scene transition and it's in the scene, like the characters are listening to that song in the car or in the apartment or whatever. Like that's that's just a nice thing I typically enjoy. I like it. It's a device I see sometimes. Other than that, it's like filmmaking wise, this isn't real fancy. It's exactly how it needs to be. And I feel like it's a good, enjoyable, feel-good movie with people acting more or less like real people, or it's like Forrest Gump, but instead of running, he punches people. One of my favorite moments, just to wrap it up, is early on when he goes to his first hockey game, and it's like, and now to sing our national anthem is local Applebee's bartender. Like, the person singing the anthem is terrible, and it sets you up for everything that you need to know about the level of competition that's going on in this movie. This is not the NHL. This is not the Olympics. This is like the bottom of the barrel, dirtbag local hockey team. Also, Charlie Murphy is so funny to me in this movie. He's the team captain who's like tired and old and salty and...
Wait, do you mean Charlie Murphy?
No, I don't. What is his name?
I'm sorry, Charlie Murphy.
Nope.
Charlie Murphy just died.
What is that guy's name?
Unity!
Is it...
Right up at your big black head!
What is that guy's name? It's Charlie something. No, it's not.
What?
What's that guy's name? Fuck.
Rick James, why'd you grind your feet into Eddie Murphy's couch? Eddie Murphy could afford to buy another one. I'd grind my feet into his couch because he could afford it.
Fuck your couch. Oh boy.
Fuck
okay,
your
well,
couch.
I can't remember that actor's name. He's in the Twilight movies as the dad, and he's in some other ones. He actually did some of the Michigan films when they were making films here. So, like, I like that dude. He's cool and he's funny in this movie. What the fuck is his name? I don't remember.
Chris, I think, is looking it up.
Yeah, but I can't even remember the character's name, so trying to figure this out is hard.
Oh, he's talking about his divorce. He's going.
Yes!
This character's great.
Yeah.
He went into his own tree podcast.
Hey, Hanrahan! She's a dyke! That's a reference to another minor league hockey movie that you should watch, Slapshot.
Can't find him.
Some guy.
Richard Clarkin? Oh yeah, it is. It's Richard Clarkin. Maybe he's not even the guy I thought he was. Nope, he's not. He's not. Never mind. He's not the guy I thought he was, but I really like him in this movie. Anyway,
let's go
good
back
job,
to
Richard
singing the
Clarkin. I
praises
thought
of
you were a
Charlie
more
Murphy
famous.
again.
I thought you were a more famous guy than you are. Well, who plays the dad in Twilight? I need to know now.
Look it up on your own time.
Well, with that, who would like to go next?
I'll go.
All right, Chris.
Billy Burke. That's the guy's name.
What happened? Did you just watch Rudy? Because she's crying.
Yeah.
Alison Pill's crying. I like Alison Pill.
That was-
She's
That's a good
phenomenal.
line.
Yeah, there are a lot of excellent lines with really good deliveries.
Sometimes garbage blows in my face.
Yeah, that was just so terrible.
She's laughing at him.
Here's the thing.
How could you not laugh at
Yeah.
Colin compares Goon to Rocky,
Uh-oh.
and on a level, I mean, I get where he's coming from with it, but the first thing in my notes is Goon. It's no Rocky.
Yes.
I mean, they're not even the same kind of movie.
It definitely, I get where he's coming from with it, and it definitely has a very similar heart, but it's no Rocky.
I was really hoping your first note was just "fuck Colin," because that's very
Second
on
note,
brand.
right?
Okay,
Yeah, no.
Good punches.
And I'm with you guys. It was an excellent movie. It was very enjoyable. The biggest problem I have with it is it's the Tropic Thunder thing. You never go full retard, and that's my biggest problem with Doug. He's not smart, and he knows he's not smart, but the character at times is so frustratingly dumb that you feel uncomfortable and kind of feel bad for him. But the
He's
thing is, it's
like third season Homer Simpson dumb.
yeah, well, that's not a very good example because then you have to remember what the fuck third season. And I'm like,
some of those
season 30. So
some of the instances of that are pretty heartwarming, though. Like when the coach tells him to not do anything that he doesn't tell him to do.
yes,
so he gets in the fight and the guy's just punching him.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, a lot of the time when he's just talking with people. And here's the thing. But he's not as dumb as he portrays himself as either.
No,
and there
he's
are
not.
so many times where he comes off as surprisingly aware, like deeply aware of the way things are. And like, I mean, even when she's blowing him off, like it's not like he doesn't get it. He totally fucking gets it. Not that's a really good example. I'm just saying, like he, he sees things very straight, you know?
The scene with his parents where he's like, I've got this all
right.
Like, he understands the whole dynamic of
right.
that.
But it just
dumb.
boggles me that,
Yeah.
like, you know, he and some of the other, like the fucking bat or the paper that blows in his face, like, and then, like, and he's like just kind of swatting it, like, just, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't be that stupid. It just, and that's honestly the biggest con for this film. Just an inconsistency with the character. You can play someone dumb, you can play someone quiet, whatever. But like I said, there are certain scenes where it's just a little bit too over, and I don't know if it's that it was written to be that way or if Sean William Scott is just poorly acting it. I'm unsure. I'm not really sure where to put that blame. But honestly, the rest of the film makes up for it because there's some really. It's a very simple story. It's got some very realistic characters that you can really connect with, and it's enjoyable. And like I said, you know, yeah, we have some negative things, James, to say about the romantic lead and you know that whole situation. I totally get that. You know, it's not necessarily, you know, so you don't necessarily want to root for someone who's pretty much breaking up a relationship but it's obvious that she ended it before, you know, she did anything more serious with, you know, with Doug. I'm not saying that that's okay what she did, but that's a conversation for a totally different time. That's tree talk.
I like that Tree Talk's becoming shorthand for a deep dive into personal issues.
There's another, and this is actually from the conversation with the father, right? And he says this in talking about Doug being essentially a goon. It's an infantile way for a man to spend his adult years, and this resounded in my head really hard because we just watched fucking Sausage Party, and I feel someone should really say this to Seth Rogen.
Okay, Seth Rogen's bro, who he writes with, Evan Goldberg, wrote Goon.
Right. Which proves that
co-wrote it with Jay Baruchel. Yes.
This Evan fellow and Jay have talent, and it's all because of Seth that things go downhill. I'm just saying.
I think Evan Goldberg had some credits on Sausage Party.
Well, then he probably was asked to, like, you know, well, look it up. Okay, sure. Well, he probably was asked to spell check.
Well, guys, I have to say that I just finished the first season of Preacher. And it did not redeem Seth Rogen, but it did redeem his money. So at least Seth Rogen's money is okay with me for now.
First season of Preacher's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Seth Rogen's money.
That's true.
And that's also Evan Goldberg.
Okay.
What, Preacher?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Anywho.
So, yeah, get away from your brother, dude. Not all of us can get with our brother and produce fantastic material.
Are you implying
produce a quality product?
What are you getting at, James? I'm so confused now. Anyway,
Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen aren't brothers.
Oh, they're not. Okay. Well, you said bro. Okay, you mean bro as in like beer bros? Okay, then get away from your buddy, dude. He's toxic.
One of the most heartwarming parts of this film,
like the Toxic Avenger, Colin.
How dare you? Has that ever been mentioned actually on the show
No, it
before?
hasn't.
Oh my god, that's a deep
I'm
cut right there.
addicted to you because you know that you're toxic.
You know,
Chris, I know
believe-
you're trying to talk. I'm
I
sorry.
can't believe that Jeff Winokur at Jeff Con did not take that opportunity.
I know.
Ah,
I can't believe it.
he's gonna listen to this episode and
You
kick
missed.
himself.
You missed your shot.
Bullshit.
You missed
Jeff
your
doesn't
shot,
listen to
buddy.
us.
Yeah, no kidding. He probably didn't even listen to the episode he was on.
All right, sorry, Chris.
the most heartwarming part of the movie was the character development.
Yeah.
Which
Hey.
I believe someone claimed didn't exist. You may not have heard it because it was cut because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Tune in next week to hear someone say it.
Or
Okay,
maybe it was
but-
a cold open.
But seriously, the there's a subtle, overt, whatever you, I guess, it's all of the characters of the team. The team as a whole has this very positive development.
I don't know why, but I knew John was going to hate this movie. I don't know why I knew
Can
that.
you at least let me make my fucking point before you toot on it?
Making toot noises.
It starts, nobody has any fucking respect, kind of like on this fucking podcast, for the seal in the, the room thingy that sports people use.
Yeah, their crest.
Mm-hmm. No, the room. What's
it's the team. It's the locker room.
Locker room. Yeah, in the locker room.
But they're not.
Cut out the gibberish. In the locker room, on the floor is their crest. The only person in the film. So at the beginning, only Doug shows it respect because to him this is something big, and to these guys it's something that's become worn, and they just don't care. And everyone walks over for their first game except for Doug, who walks purposefully around it. Then they start doing well. Then the whole team walks around it except for LaFlemme, who walks right over it. And then their final game, everyone walks around it, even LaFlemme. He walks up to it, stops, and walks around it. So the entire team mutually gains this level of respect for themselves and therefore for their clubhouse.
Yeah.
Toot on that, John!
Damn, dude.
And the catalyst for that was somebody being introduced into the situation that's a relentlessly positive force.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the Goon character so redeemable is his relentless positivity and the way he wants to give up everything for his bros.
You might say that the other characters in the film, in fact, were charmed by his heart.
Yes.
You know, he had so much heart that the rest of the team couldn't help but be charmed by it. That sounds right up somebody's alley. I can't remember who.
But what this movie was ultimately getting at with that kind of development is how
one individual can
change the tone of an entire situation with his unselfishness and positivity. Yeah.
And for me, that was probably one of the coolest moments in the film. Like I said, this movie has a ton of really excellent moments. Great scenes. We already discussed the diner one, because that was an excellent, well-written, great dialogue. You mean the final fight on the ice was pretty badass. Although I think one of the funniest fights was they get on the ice and him and the one dude you want to fight? Sure.
So that was George LaRock. It was a black guy. George LaRock is an actual goon from the NHL. He played in the NHL for 15 years, and he was in the movie as a cameo.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I said, it was just so funny because it was just
they couldn't get Wayne Gretzky.
They mutually just yeah, let's do it, and then shook hands as they were being hauled.
That's how hockey fights usually go. You want to go? Yeah. You want to go? Yeah. Let's go.
It was great.
Then they just drop them, and it's time to go.
I love that in hockey is another sport of fighting.
Yeah.
That the referees don't even they're not even okay, we got to split this up. All of a sudden they become boxing refs and all right, no, but nothing below the belt.
Right.
It's the mini game.
It is a hockey mini game, and the team that wins the mini game gets morale boost.
Right?
It's a real thing. Yeah. It is. It's
Even
a real
though they
thing.
both sit in a box.
It's like a game.
Yeah, the fact that they're really cutting down on fights and stuff in hockey is probably the worst part of hockey.
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Not saying that we need everyone fist fighting all the time, but it was cool.
Yeah.
But
yep.
So to put it out there, Goon is not Rocky. Goon is Goon. It stands on its own merits. It has some flaws, but it is really good. It does have a lot of heart and charm, to use that phrase that we know has been, pecked at here and there. And I highly recommend this movie, even if you're not a sports fan, because you don't need to be a sports fan to really enjoy this movie.
No. Yeah.
It has a lot of just, I don't really know what to describe. It just, a lot of good, just, character interaction, just life.
It's a good story.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, on that totally upbeat note, I'm done.
John, do you want to go?
Either or, Eric, if you would like to jump in
Well,
and let me tie it all up. With a bow.
So I've given a lot of my thoughts on the movie during other people's reviews because
half
I didn't.
my review was
actually
just quotes.
Well, like what I really came away with from this movie is how like a relentlessly positive influence can change his entire circumstance, and it was cool to see Sean William Scott do that as the Goon, and how the whole team became a different thing because of his influence on them. So I don't have I love the movie. The end fight scene is great. I was actually kind of it didn't need to be as gnarly as it was. Like, I get it that it's a movie and they you can go over the top a little bit with movies, but he didn't need to break his ankle and then keep fighting after that. That was a little gnarlier than it needed to be.
That's a wince for sure.
Right. But I loved the movie. Honestly, so I drank a beer while I was watching this movie, and sometimes when I drink beer, it sends me to an emotional place. And when so at the end of this movie, when they're having the build up to the eventual fight between Doug and fucking Liev Schreiber, I don't remember the name of his character, but his character
Ross the Boss Ray.
That's right. Yeah. His character was directly modeled after Marty McSorley, who Colin mentioned. Wayne Gretzky. Marty McSorley was Wayne Gretzky's personal bodyguard on the ice. Like that, it was a thing. And so Marty McSorley played in the NHL, and anytime anybody took a run at Wayne, they had to deal with Marty. And there's a really cool symbiosis to that relationship where if you want to hurt, like in this case Laflamme, you've got to deal with Doug. If you want to hurt Wayne, you've got to deal with Marty. So and I say that because Ross the Boss gets suspended for baseball swinging his stick into the side of an opponent's head at the beginning of the movie. Marty McSorley did literally that in the NHL.
Wow.
And they kicked him the fuck out. That was a little insane. But so the whole build up to that fight, the music starts rising and you can see them kind of circling, and then one goes on the ice and the other comes off the ice. And he tricks Doug into an instigator penalty for dropping his gloves when he doesn't do it. They build to the crescendo of the final fight really well, and it works really well. And so I was having my beer and I was like, man, this is good. I'm enjoying the shit out of this. And when they finally do the fight, I was tearing up a little bit. I don't even fucking get it, but I did. I don't know. I teared up about a documentary about the 1998 or the 1989 Detroit Pistons. So whatever. Fuck you guys.
Hey, there's movies that make me tear up too.
Yeah. But anyway, I absolutely love this movie. Colin's right. The worst part of this movie was the potty mouth on Jay Baruchel, because that's what separates this movie from being good for people like us and good for everyone. It is. Mm-hmm. That's the barrier between this being a cult classic and an actual classic is some of the lower brow stuff that happens in it. But that being said, it's still good. So I really quickly just wanted to mention the story of John Scott. He was a Goon in the actual NHL. He just retired this last year. But he spent his entire career doing Goon shit like Marty McSorley and Doug Glatt and George LaRocque and Bob Probert and Joey Koser and Derek Bogard and let's keep going. All these guys. But
Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Charmander,
Onyx, Snorlax. I'm confused. What are we doing?
Yes, when the coach says, "I choose you," he goes and fights. Yes,
Right.
correct.
He goes,
It's
"Go,
not-
Doug Glatt."
It's not Doug Glatt. I choose you. Yeah, that's not that far off. You fucking nerds.
Doug Glatt uses Ice Punch.
No,
Blue-eyed white dragon.
That's Yu-Gi-Oh, you tool.
Yeah, that's a problem. We go from hockey goons to Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's where we bat an eye.
Yu-Gi-Oh is for ultimate dorks. I only watched it for a year before I realized that.
Wow.
But anyway, John Scott. So the NHL decided a few years ago that it would be fun to gain fan interaction if they had fans vote on who should go to the All-Star game. So the first year that they did that, everybody just voted for good players. But the second year, people were like, well, shit, if we just start a little campaign, we can get whoever we want in the All-Star game.
Get a whole team of brawlers. Is that what they did?
No, they the campaign was for John Scott,
right?
And they John Scott won the vote. Like, he had the most votes to go to the All-Star game. And he's a guy that had scored 2 goals in his entire 10-year career. Like, he was just a goon.
Wow.
He was just out there to punch people. He was 6'8" and he was strong.
Right.
But so they elected him to go to the All-Star game, and he went to the All-Star game and he scored 2 goals in the All-Star game.
Whoa!
There's an incredible article. Just look it up. John Scott. He wrote an entire really well-written and really great article about his entire, circumstance about getting voted into the NHL All-Star game. The NHL commissioner told him to recuse himself because they didn't want a bum in the All-Star game. They tried to shut him out of the All-Star game. He was like, I mean, I don't know, guys. The fans voted for me. They want me to play in this. They sent up a stooge from the NHL to knock on his hotel room door in the middle of the night to try to get him to not play in the All-Star game.
Wow.
It's really an incredible story. And
then he went out and fucking played some hockey.
Right. Then he went out and played some hockey, and literally everybody loved it. And everybody was introduced to this really interesting and good character that John Scott was. And then he told his story about it. And it's a really good story. So it's out there. If you feel like doing some extra reading after this podcast, read the story of John Scott. It's really good. So
John.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, John Scott. But it's great. And Goon is a really good movie. Know what you're getting into. It's going to be a movie with some dick jokes, and it's going to be a movie where guys get punched in the face a lot. But if you're okay with that, it's a great movie. It's absolutely worth watching. That's my take.
Solid takes all around. And basically, the way that I think most people, listeners, if you're listening to this, if you just kind of want to go, 4 out of 5 ain't bad, then you can go ahead. But when it comes down to my opinion of this movie, we've mentioned Rudy, we've mentioned Rocky. Eric does a great Al Pacino from Any Given Sunday.
Absolutely.
It's inspiring.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm good at that shit.
We mentioned Slapshot.
Yeah.
We didn't mention Hoosiers, but that is also an amazing sports movie. Friday Night Lights. Bull Durham.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there. They're fantastic movies, and they all are kind of in. When it comes to film cinema, they're all pretty much ranging from the 1970s to maybe about the early 90s.
Yeah.
They've set a formula, and it's a real easy formula to follow. And if you just follow that formula, and I think it's called paint by numbers, then you end up with something pretty much like The Goon.
What?
Which
No.
is
His family doesn't support him.
I was going to say, because this honestly, it's about hockey, but it doesn't feel like it's that much of a sports movie.
Also, like, the coach is not his personal mentor in this. He doesn't like really have somebody that's spending, like, after the first, like, rinky-dink coach, like, he's on his own.
Yeah, he doesn't have a
in the
bro on
minors.
the team. Like, he's out there on his own.
Well,
now
you
we're
know,
all arguing against John.
Well, he's wrong, so he's wrong.
I mean, Rudy was out there on his own. In fact, actually, if there's a
No,
parallel,
he had a whole team to support him.
At the
That's how he
end-
got to play.
at the
He had fucking
end,
Vince Vaughn on his
at
team.
the end, they
well,
supported
sometimes
him.
it takes the end.
Right, yeah.
Rudy's all about knowing your limits.
Hey, Doug Glatt got a goal with
See, I've
his
never
end.
watched Rudy, so I never got that joke. I just repeated it.
The truth is that, and actually, Rudy is a really excellent parallel, and I'm glad you guys mentioned that, because this Rudy's parents weren't particularly very supportive of his dream. Now, I mean, everybody in that movie comes around at the end because the kid's got heart, right? He's got so much heart. And you replace heart with positivity, and you basically have pretty much the same outcome. I'm not saying that the Goon is a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, but it didn't draw me in like I expected it to. And I think part of the reason that I was not super fond of this movie is because how people talk about it. People talk about it like it is the best movie you have never seen. That's not true. This is a decent movie that you've seen 5 or 6 times. And,
Well, maybe that's why I enjoyed it, because I haven't watched that myriad of movies you listed.
right.
So, like, it's new to me.
Well, this is like if I had just watched The Goon completely in a vacuum, I'd never seen Rocky, I'd never seen Rudy, I'd never seen Slapshot, I'd never seen these sports movies. The Goon would have impressed the ever-living fuck out of me, and I probably would have teared up a little bit at the end, because all those other movies that
you're a real man.
Yeah. All those other movies that I mentioned make me cry like a bitch at certain points. This did not make me cry. This didn't even make me shout out loud. And that's key for me when it comes to these movies. I need to be along for this ride. This movie never took me by the hand and said, "Come on, John, let's go. Let's have a little journey."
Come on, John. You want some ice cream?
Yeah, you want some ice cream?
I said,
You
John,
want me to be your surrogate father that left you when you were just a little kid? Yeah, I mean, no, but
are we getting a tree talk? Holy shit. That was
Tree
some
talk.
deep tree talk.
I'm just trying to get in the game. But I mean, the
I gotta change the game now.
the truth of the matter is that this is a fairly decent movie. But you know, if you're into these kinds of movies, you might feel the same way that I do. You might be kind of bored by it. And I think that there's, I mean, I can't say it's not worth watching. It's definitely worth watching because, as the guys have said, the dialogue in this is pretty fucking solid. But I think this movie is a little bit schizophrenic. I think it really wants to be Rudy, and it wants to be this heartwarming sports film that the cloth that it's cut from. But at the same time, there's a big part of it that really wants to be a comedy too. And I think that just doesn't gel very well. And I think it keeps this movie from greatness. I think if this movie had a little bit more focus, definitely eliminate the friend character with the shit mouth.
They didn't have to completely eliminate him, but like just not as much of him.
Yeah, they had to tone him down.
And oh boy, we didn't even mention it, but the Trailer Park Boys are in this movie, looking bad.
Yeah,
late period Trailer Park Boys at their worst, which is the late period Trailer Park Boys are pretty fucking bad. No, they were the guys in the they were the studio staff at his TV show, at Jay Baruchel's TV show.
Yep.
Oh no way.
Yep.
But I mean, so really, I think a big chunk of this movie is going to be what you bring to it. And if you're a huge fan of these types of movies,
James definitely brought some shit to this movie.
Yes, he did.
So it sounds to me, John, like you're saying that 7 feel-good underdog sports story movies are fine, but 8 is just a bridge too far for you.
Well, yeah, and that's, you can boil it down like that, or you can just say that this one isn't as good as the 7 and therefore doesn't belong with the other 7.
Well, did we say it did?
Yes.
No.
This is a perfect movie. This movie is the greatest.
No.
We love this movie so much.
Well, first off, that's James. You can't take him seriously. But I know I never compared, other than saying it wasn't Rocky, which is the exact opposite of what you're saying.
Yeah, and I wasn't singling you out, Chris. I wasn't saying Chris Arsenault says that this movie. You want to go? Let's go.
Time to drop the fucking gloves.
Just saying.
He's saying we're all the problem.
You're definitely not part of the solution, Colin.
Well, I wouldn't bother lumping this in with those movies, and that was my point. That this doesn't feel like first and foremost a sports movie.
Yeah,
it seems like a character movie.
Yeah, he's saying when you combine Rudy with Superbad, it doesn't gel well. But exactly. I think you can tell how well it gels. I think it's swell. Go to hell.
All right, I did it.
Well, that joke fell.
I thought it was fun, but like this movie, it was a topic that didn't really translate very well. So
this movie's about a guy.
You just don't like hockey. You just don't like hockey.
We're not doing beat poetry. Stop it. We're not doing beat poetry. Stop it, Eric. Stop it.
Do you ever notice how when you say something?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break.
Blades scraping crystal.
It doesn't even matter what you say, because when you say it like this,
you want to go?
It's poetry.
All right.
In the tooth is the truth.
We're going to take a short break.
I'm so glad you guys picked up on that so quick. I wanted to do that. I had that shit planned. Oh, God. Okay, John, we can go now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after this with the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after this.
I can't even
with
snap.
The game.
That's why I hate poetry, because I can't snap.
We'll be back with the game. Tally-ho, John Hates Movies listeners, it's Eric Largent with a quick reminder of how you can find us. The best way to stay appraised of all of our activity is to follow us on Facebook at John Hates Movies. There we'll post all of our new episodes, as well as whatever we're feeling interested in at the moment. Please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast service, like iTunes, Stitcher, or Podcast and Radio Addict. If you subscribe to us on iTunes, please leave us a comment. We read every single one, and they're much appreciated. You can also follow us on Twitter at John Hates Movies, or follow me on Twitter at Eric Largent. Now, stay tuned for the game and find out what movie we get to watch next week. And if you're feeling adventurous, watch along with us and leave us a comment on Facebook telling us what you thought of the movie. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is now time for your favorite part and mine. It is time for the game.
Woohoo!
Yay!
And you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
As is John Hates Movies tradition, the person who picked the movie gets to pick the game, and that is James. James, what have you got for us?
As I was going through this notebook here, I found this game already written down. Boxer or hockey player. We can literally play the same thing again. Let's see how good your memory is.
I mean, if you guys really want me to win.
No.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. What was that for?
Last time Eric won, he didn't even get to pick a movie because it was before Jeff Con.
That's true.
Oh, that is true.
So Eric winning would be okay.
Oh.
Thank you.
All right, so
Thank you.
yeah, this is lame, but I don't give a shit because I don't care that much, and this is fast.
All right.
It's going to be easy for me
cool.
and hard for you guys. So Sean William Scott, of course, he's what's his last name?
Stifler.
No, not Stifler. Jeez.
What's happened?
William
Scott?
Scott?
His last name is
Oh, in the movie?
yeah, in the movie.
Glatt.
Glatt.
Yeah.
Glatt. Okay, so he's the Goon, Glatt. And then you got the boss, Ross.
He's Doug the Thug.
Yep. And so, the Thug? Okay.
Yeah,
so
Doug
the Thug.
Okay, the Thug. Doug the Thug. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give
Did that ruin your game?
Huh? Yeah. So you just ruined my game, so we're done. All right. No, I'm going to give you names of people, both real and fictional, and you give me their hockey Goon fighter name.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
Oh, harkening way back to our first 10 to 12 episodes.
Now this is what's your Goon name. It's a slight variation of that.
Okay.
With a little more thought.
Yeah, it's not our name, Eric.
Okay.
It's somebody else, real or fictional's
Totally
name.
not. What's your trucker name?
No, it's what's this hockey player's trucker name.
Hey, that was Speak Trucker CB. That was a game.
That was fucking good.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
I think it was what's your cowboy name?
We'd
happened
and what's
too.
your favela name?
Yeah, what's your
We had cast your own good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep.
All right, let's go with Eric first. Eric.
Yeah.
Gary Busey.
Starting
That's
off strong.
fictional, right?
Well, he's certainly more fake than real these days.
I mean, it's too easy to say scary Gary Busey, so I don't want to.
It's good though.
That is a good one.
Good. It feels easy. I'm gonna go with something way worse.
Okay.
Gary the Goose Busey.
Goosey Busey.
Yes. Yeah. All right. I like that. Okay. All right.
It doesn't have to rhyme, right?
No, it doesn't have to rhyme.
Okay, good.
It can
Good.
be anything.
Is that the tone we're setting? Gary the Goose
Sure.
Busey.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Goosey is Lucy.
All right. So, Chris, Robert Carlyle.
Robert Jaws Carlyle.
I have no idea who that is.
It's
The bad guy from.
He's a guy.
he was in Ravenous.
Yep.
He's the main guy in the Full Monty.
Oh shit, that Robert Carlyle.
Yeah. In Trainspotting.
Not the one Colin was thinking was the the captain of the hockey team.
No.
Robert Carlyle.
No, not Robert Carlyle from Goon and Twilight. No.
If you can reference Ravenous in this, that would be awesome.
Robert Bloodthirsty Carlyle. I got nothing.
That works.
I would go with the camel.
I was also going to do the Magic Man because he's plays Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
Because it's the straw that broke the Robert Carlyle. So,
Oh,
all right.
I see you
Yep.
working.
Yep. Colin.
Yes.
Let's. All right. Phil Collins.
Phil the Rabid Blood Panther Collins.
All right.
All right. John. We'll go with John Wayne.
Come on.
Yeah, I forgot he's got his own nickname.
Yeah, because I can't think of anything besides the dude.
Badoo.
John, don't call me Marion Wayne.
That's a good one too. And, John, I have no fucking clue, Wayne.
All right, Eric.
Yeah.
Round
William
2.
Shatner.
Yeah. So I'm envisioning William Shatner being in a movie where it's a gangster movie, and he's like the hitman in the gangster movie, and they call him William the Gat Shatner.
God damn, that's good. All right. All right, Chris. Sean Astin. Sean, know your limits, Astin.
I was going to say Sean Littlefeet Astin. Sean, I'll drag your ass to Mordor Astin. Mr. Frodo.
Oh, I love the way this worked out. Colin.
Yes.
Toxie.
For fuck's sake.
It just happened to work out that way.
Oh,
huh?
yeah, wow.
It
What?
seriously did.
By random chance.
I'll also go with Troy LePan.
Oh. Troy the Troll LePan.
Yes, exactly. Troy the Troll LePan. Troy, my... sorry, let me collect this for a second. How about Troy, my jokes on Facebook are more important than our friendship, LePan.
And right up the middle here comes my jokes on Facebook are more important than our friendship, LePan. With a right hook.
He came up the middle with the right hook.
From downtown.
All right.
Puts up the shot.
All right, John.
Boom
Switching
goes
these around
the
a little
dynamite.
bit. Guy Fieri for John.
Guy the child molester Fieri.
Whoa, no! Yikes! Whoa! This is how
Wait,
rumors
that's a
get
thing,
started,
right?
you know?
No!
No!
He's not fucking.
Pretty sure that's a thing.
It's not a
TMZ
thing.
is exploding right now.
It is
as
not
we
a
speak here.
thing.
No, that's not a thing.
He's not Jared from Subway. No.
All right.
No, you said your shit. Your slanderous garbage.
Guy Slender
That's
is
no way to
garbage
get
Fieri.
to Flavor Town.
Oh man, fucking! I hope Guy Fieri never hears this podcast. He's about to hit us
I
with a
know.
fucking libel suit.
Here comes Eric. I hope Guy Fieri never hears this podcast, Sergeant.
Yeah, that one was a little too over the top.
I saw a picture the other day where it had Guy Fieri and he's holding a gun to his head and says, "One more trip to Flavor Town."
Oh.
I'll go to Flavortown any day. I think John's done. He doesn't have another one.
He's had one too many trips to Flavor Town.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he thought it was opium.
James, are you okay? Like,
I don't think
right?
he is.
You doing all right,
I
buddy?
think James is.
You want to talk about it?
Tree talk.
Poor James.
No, that was a solid
know.
joke. That was a solid joke.
James, he makes solid jokes. He'll tell you himself.
All right, Eric.
Yes.
Don Quixote.
Yeah. Don, doesn't this playground of school children look like windmills to Quixote?
Is this where we're at now?
This is where we are at.
This is where we're living? All right.
He's going to ride them down.
Take one trip to Flavor Town.
And now
Don-
we're killing kids.
What? Oh my god! How far are we going? I mean,
This is some horrendous shit.
Mine was not horrendous. At least I didn't think so.
he was just talking about murdering children,
Right.
okay? Not,
right.
much better.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. PA Versetti.
This is like the race to the bottom of John Hates Movies games. Like who
This is supposed to be
like
simple.
nobody wants to pick a movie. Nobody wants to win. It's like
Ridiculous. Make some nicknames games.
Hey, the precedent was set early.
PA, I'm the private Dick Versetti.
All right. Colin.
uh-huh.
Yugi.
Like Yugi. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, see, now I can only think of, like, really nasty, awful shit. 'Cause, like,
I accidentally the 4chan of games. Like,
yeah, you did, because, like, I'm like, Yugi the dog molester. Wait, no, not that. Where can we go from, like, Yugi? Does Yugi have a last name?
Oh?
Very good. Then he's Yugi the fighting Irish O.
Perfect.
There we are. We're bringing it back home.
yeah, that's
There we go.
Bringing it into the realms of decency again.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and speaking of decency, John,
Yes.
Fred Rogers.
Aw.
Give him a fighter name. He has no dirt on him.
Yes, just to clarify, John, there was never any scandal about this guy.
I
so
know.
before you think it's somebody else and say something really awful.
And he's hands off. He's
Fred, Mr. Clean Rogers.
Fred Rogers.
Fred, I'll baptize the hell out of you, Rogers.
He's a hero.
Yes, he is.
Fred, they never found my septic tank full of dead children, Rogers.
Oh!
Because he was a good neighbor. He cleaned up his yard.
That's right.
Wow. Good neighbor. Fred Rogers.
Oh God, you got me stuck. I'm stuck.
Are you stuck?
I'm stuck.
He's stuck, everybody.
Dead. Fred Rogers.
Fred Dead
Fred the
Rogers.
Dead Rogers.
You know what? That actually is perfect. Fred the Dead Rogers.
Yeah.
No,
All right, Fred
that
the
hurt
Dead.
my heart to say that.
Oh, no.
Fred, you're the absolute best person in the entire world, and I love you, and I wish you were still here with me, Mr. Rogers.
The dead. Rogers.
You know what?
And here comes, you're absolutely the best person in the world. I absolutely love you and I miss you. Rogers up the center line with the puck.
There's a reason they call him We Wish You Were Here Now.
I don't know. Up the hockey pool with the stick hands and
Stick hands.
he's got stick hands with the men's urinal cake and is going to.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
And it's 1996 and it's got a bunch of computers and it is glowing.
Oh my God.
What is
All
happening?
right,
I don't know.
last
A
round.
James game is what's happening.
Let's pretend this is going really well.
A James game is happening.
That's how you play my games. Is you pretend.
Rumblefish.
Fred Rumplefish Rogers. Yes.
There you go.
All right, Eric. Last round.
What?
Wait, why do we take 8 years on my turn? Why?
No. That was a joke.
There's an expectation for you, John, that you will do
You
better.
just said
And
Rumblefish
we don't
and I
move
went
on
with
until you satisfy our expectations.
Yeah. Pope Francis. Eric.
All right. Yeah, I'm envisioning like a Kung Fu Pope.
There you go.
Where they would call
Sweet.
him Pope Hands of Steel Francis.
You know, Eric, I really appreciate your efforts to make this good. It's very inspiring.
Yes.
Chris. Ted Cruz.
Ew.
Talking about the politician Ted Cruz.
The one who looks always angry that he doesn't have a dick in his mouth. Yes.
Yikes.
Oh my God.
This one was aimed at the bottom.
Yeah.
It was.
just
I
like
swear to
Pope
God. I just wanted to-
This game
Honestly,
thinks it's
for-
trying to
for
attract
me,
jobs
you
to
said,
its state.
You said that he always seems like he wishes he had a dick in his mouth. I always think that in almost every picture he looks like he's totally lost. So I'll go, Ted, do you know where my mommy is, Cruz?
There we go.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
So
Yep.
good.
I approve.
Cullen.
Yes.
Doc Brown.
Doc Brown. Oh my God. Doc the Rock Brown sinking
Yes.
3-pointers from downtown.
There you go.
So good. And John, a nice and easy one. Ron Swanson.
Ron the Woodcarver Swanson.
It's
Not to
simple.
put too fine a
like
point on
my, it's my hobby and my name. I like it.
That's a pretty decent Ron Swanson.
I dislike most jokes because jokes are lies, and I do not lie.
It's Ron the Woodcarver
I thought
Swanson.
it was a good chair, so I submitted it, and it won.
Speaking of
My-
winning,
my-
James,
Yes, please, James, end this torture.
I find
Who
it
won
hard
the
to
game?
believe that anybody won this.
Nobody won. All right, so the winner of this game is Eric for pulling us out of the nose.
Yay!
All right.
Pope hands of steel.
For actually putting forth effort.
Yes, yeah. I feel good about this win. Eric actually tried to salvage that train wreck, and I appreciate.
Well,
that.
I appreciate your appreciation.
Yeah, and see,
you do a lot for this podcast, Eric. Really, so thank you.
And some people say that effort ribbons don't count. Well, God damn it, they do when no one else puts forth any effort.
when barely participating is the measure of winning, your participation trophy has meaning.
Okay.
Exactly.
Hey guys. How do you guys feel about Mumblecore?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I think
don't-
we're all about to. I think we're all maybe about to discover a genre of film next week, because this is a movie from one of the landmark directors of the Mumblecore movement, and one of the landmark actors of the Mumblecore movement. But they just released a movie direct to Netflix, so we are going to watch Win It All.
Oh, here it is.
Win It All.
Win it all.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, it's about mumbling. Apparently,
No.
Is Mumblecore actually a thing?
Yes.
Hey,
Okay,
Joe
what is
Latrulio and Keegan Michael Key. Very cool.
Joe Swanberg. Joe Swanberg is a director that people are paying attention to, and Netflix hired him to make a movie. It's been recommended to me. I haven't seen it, and I want to. It's a 2017 movie. It just came out.
Crazy.
So I would like us to dip our toes into something that is right now.
Fresh material.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
John
Weird
Movies
yeah.
gets contemporary.
That's right.
Yeah. So John, do you have? I don't even know what a synopsis of this would be.
I got one.
I can give you the synopsis right now. After
Yeah.
losing $50,000 that wasn't his, gambling addict Eddie starts to rebuild his life, but an unwelcome surprise pushes him towards old ways. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Rounders.
No, that's Win It All. No, that's. Oh, I see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Woo!
Mumblecore. It's not a Pokemon. It's an actual movement in film.
A great big thank you to our staff graphic artist, Tabby Walters, the Weekly Cast, and our listeners. You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, through YouTube, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. Every third episode is Listener Appreciation, where we choose from your suggestions. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies YouTube channel, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say...
They say I'm paranoid? Well, that just confirms all my suspicions.